Good evening, everyone. My name is Norm Hitzkes, alongside to analyze tonight's 7th game of this series, the former star player and coach of the Dallas Tornado, Mike Renshaw. Much has been written and spoken about fatigue in this series being a factor. These teams have played 8.5 months since the start of training camp. But, Mike, I don't get the feeling that in Game 7, fatigue plays a part.
No way fatigue is going to be a factor in this game. These teams have 3 games apiece now. They've laid it on the line each one of the preceding 6 games, and there's going to be no difference tonight. No way fatigue's a factor.
You know, Mike, if somebody's sitting in their locker room a few minutes before the game saying, golly, I feel tired, they're generally not to a 7th game.
That's right. Those sort of people are playing golf right now, I think. This is going to be a great game. It's been a great series. It's going to be a great game tonight.
So far in this series, all 6 games have been won by the home team. We're in Tacoma tonight. It would figure they would have a home field advantage. But, Mike, in the 7th in other leagues, hockey, basketball, baseball, the home team does not do all that well in this 7th game. Your feelings, advantage, disadvantage for the home team tonight?
Well, it could go either way. They're under pressure. They've got a sellout crowd here again tonight. Tremendous pressure on the Tacoma team to bring this championship back in front of the home folks. But then again, Dallas, in their previous games here, knew they always had a chance to come back. This time, no chance to come back if they lose tonight. So I don't see the home field advantage being a real factor tonight.
That's Mike Renshaw. My name's Norm Hitzkes. Next up, Game 7 of the MISL Championship Series between the Tacoma Stars and the Dallas Sidekicks. Tacoma Harbor, Mount Rainier in the background. We're ready for Game 7 in a sold-out Tacoma Dome. They put up 1,444 temporary seats that were snapped up in a half a day. 21,728 stuffed into the Tacoma Dome, and we're underway. We'll try to give you a bit of a radio play-by-play the first few minutes. Oh, and Mike, right off the bat, we get a foul against Dallas, and as you have mentioned so many times in this series, that's been a key in this series.
The single most important factor in this series has been Tacoma's power play, and the Sidekicks certainly wanted to avoid giving away unnecessary early fouls.
A power play occurs when a team either gets a 2-minute penalty for some kind of violent foul, or it stacks up 6 common fouls in any one of the 4 15-minute quarters, resulting in a 2-minute penalty. Shot by Tattoo, blocked. Comes back Wes McLeod. His shot is high and wide. That's Joe Papaleo in goal for Tacoma. He has the best goals against record in this league in the playoffs this year, allowing 3.61 goals per game. For Dallas, Chris Sobieski in goal allows about 4.5 per game. Long run, left wing. Heel turns on the ball. One touches it, but doesn't get all of it, and Sobieski scoops it out to Redwinski on the wing, who gets elbowed in the face by Jerry Gray. There's the first foul on Tacoma. 1 minute and 7 seconds and scoreless deep in the first quarter. The officials, Gino DiPolito and Essie Baharmas, are the 2 officials working the floor, and Kelly Mock is the one on the sideline. As you can see, Michael, this series has been high scoring.
Well, an average of over 10 goals a game through the 6 games preceding this one. Don't expect anything less tonight.
The higher scoring games have been in Tacoma, where we've had 14, 11, and 8 scores. Headed for Redwanski, knocked up and over the back glass by Jerry Gray, and it will be a corner for Dallas. They will put on their offensive team. In case this is the first time you're ever seeing MISL soccer, 4 15-minute quarters. End of the regulation time, we go to sudden death overtime, and we'll play all night if it takes that long. The longest MISL championship game in history. We just finished playing in Dallas.
What a game it was.
20.5 minutes into overtime. Dallas will take the corner kick. Threading through, hits the defender, and it's bumped to Papaleo. Inside the box, he can handle it. When he comes out of that whited square, he's like any other player, can only use his feet.
2 against 1 quickly. Dallas got caught on illegal substitution. Too many men on the field.
Is that what it is? The official blows.
That's what it's going to be. Too many men on the field against the Sidekicks.
Baharmas goes over and checks Kelly Mock, and yes, 2 minutes on Dallas. Illegal substitution. Great eyes, Mr. Renshaw. You can tell an ex-coach in this league.
Well, Lawson got on as well as Juremovic. They both saw Zungul breaking free down that right side. They both came on at the same time. Lawson immediately got off, realizing the error, but the 3rd official caught it.
Let us update you on the power plays. In this series, Tacoma has been brutally efficient. They've had a man advantage 19 times. They've scored 12 of the times. Dallas is but 3 for 12. Dallas, however, got a goal against the power play of Tacoma in Dallas on Thursday night. It was a key goal. What makes the Tacoma power play so good? Michael, they have 4 outstanding offensive players.
Well, you know, with Heel and Zungul and Ingram and Preki and Davis to quarterback it, it's been just a phenomenal power play throughout this series.
Those first 4 each got 40 or more goals this season. They're the first team in MISL history to ever have 4 40-goal scorers in a season. This is Preki. This is the man who directs it, Davis. In the middle now is Heel. Right wing is Ingram, and left corner is Zungul. This is Ingram. That's McLeod marking him, and Radwanski out on Davis. The ball through to Ingram, and he fans left-footed, and here's McLeod. Dallas will counterattack the other way. Long chip ball for Radwanski, goes over the side. That's not bad, though. It gives Dallas time to get back and draw breath. That's part of the Dallas plan, that if they can't counterattack successfully, this is against league rules, but chip it over the side and get a breath and reform your defense.
The pass there by Preki all the way across to Ingram, which Ingram kind of fanned on, has been typical of the sort of set-up plays that have led to the Tacoma goals in the earlier power plays.
Yeah, they like to swing it one side and then pass through the defense all the way back to the other. So far, Dallas has killed right at 40 seconds of this 2-minute penalty. Here come the Stars forming the attack again. Now Preki will be the man in the middle. He feeds Ingram. This is Heel. There's Preki off the board. Knocked back off the boards, and it's loose along the boards. Dallas digs for it, and Tacoma has it. Zungul and Ingram winding up high, up over the glass. There's a break for Dallas. Ingram looked a little bit antsy to fire that ball from about 50 feet.
Yeah, he's not been doing that so much in the earlier power plays, hitting the ball from there. They've been a bit more patient than that. 59 seconds left in the power play.
Ingram and Heel were teammates at Luton Town in England, 2nd division, before coming over here to play for Tacoma. The Dallas penalty killing unit, by the way, is McLeod, Smith, Uremovich, and have they brought Tattoo on now?
Well, with their possession, they've brought Tattoo on. They'll try and get him the ball, see if he can hold it a little while up there for them.
Sobieski to midfield. This could be dangerous if they get trapped with Tattoo on the field, because he's not a terribly good defensive player. Here's Megson.
Tattoo immediately gets to the bench. Good pressure by McLeod there to give Tattoo time to get to the bench, and Radwanski to get on.
40 seconds remaining in the Tacoma penalty. This may be the last real possession they have in the penalty. Preki directs. Zungul, he scored from right there to tie against Dallas. Preki loves the left foot, blocked in the defense and up over the side glass by Smudger Smith, who suddenly exploded in these playoffs. He struggled all season long with his offensive game. He's been very good in the playoffs.
Well, his production, along with Uremovich's and Doc Lawson's, has been instrumental, really, in getting the Sidekicks this far.
Yeah, and Mark Carpin getting a goal or an assist in every game. Here's Preki. Zungul, the lord of all indoors, holds every record you can hold offensive-wise this league. There's the cross-floor ball. Preki goes to the right foot. It skips into the penalty area and is knocked out of there. 15 seconds remaining in the penalty. Zungul will form it quickly. Comes to Davis. Here's Preki, across, running on, Zungul blocked out. It comes to the corner, this is Preki, hooked up. Time is expiring in the penalty right now. The man's out of the box, down goes the Tacoma player. There is an injury here. The official is not reaching for a flag. It's called a common foul. That'll be the second against Dallas. 11:35 remaining in the first quarter here in Tacoma. And you're going to see a collision. This has been Smashmouth soccer in this series so far. Ooh.
Well, it was a collision of heads. Uremovich going for the ball there, it appeared, but he certainly got Davis in the head.
Oh, my.
Great leap by Davis to get up early.
Ooh, Mike, and this is nothing against Mike Uremovich. It was a very clean play. Both players going for a 50-50 ball. But that's another indication. Some people say, soccer, it's a sissy sport. Not indoors. There's enormous contact that's been in this series now for 6 games and a quarter. These are the balloons at the top of the Tacoma Dome. I noticed when Dallas came out to warm up, a few of the players pointed at the balloons. Almost you could read their lips saying, those suckers aren't coming down tonight.
Yeah. Where are the green ones, they said.
The former owners of the Sidekicks were Linda and John Carter from Dallas. Sidekicks, Zungul! Oh, a blast is high off the free kick. Is he dangerous? He has had 2 6-goal games in his MISL career. Now, that's a double hat. Radwanski to the corner, it's in front, it's loose, it eludes the foot of Smith. Smith collects, he turns, and Dallas will continue to press the attack again. 5 fouls on Tacoma. In this quarter, 1 more, and Dallas will get a man advantage. Ooh, a blast by McLeod is blocked. Turning, another blast. And Lawson's going to have to track it back. I really don't understand either team's seeming penchant for firing the ball from 60 feet. Mike, you don't beat great goaltenders from 60 feet.
Well, the average player doesn't. Tattoo's done it quite a few times this season. You can certainly see why he has a go from there.
But you notice Tattoo and Zungul aren't the ones doing it.
Tattoo hit the last shot, but that was the first long-range shot he's hit tonight, that's sure.
Headed in midfield, and the Stars will attack. 1:40 remaining. Dangerous to the left foot. Brecky just off the boards. The tender Sobieski was beaten, but it was wide. You know, Sobieski really did a nice job of standing his ground. He may have had the whole corner covered there.
Well, Sobieski's played in every one of these championship games, whereas his counterparts, Papaleo, has been able to switch off with Mike Dowler. He's certainly feeling the fatigue.
Tattoo around Megson. Tries to go off the glass. Boy, Megson, whose nickname is the Elegant Assassin, does a wonderful job there on Tattoo. Ball loose midfield, and the player for the Stars stepped on, never saw it. So Carpin keeps possession. Turned his back on the play, assuming that the Stars would keep the ball, and that was not the truth, but it does not turn out to be anything more than just a small opportunity for Dallas. Good forechecking here by the Stars. 3 men working hard in midfield. Uh-oh, and Tattoo alone with a defender. You don't see that much of that in this series. Tattoo goes to the left foot. Nicely done. This is McLeod, goes to the left foot, it's high. Here's Jeremovich, runs on. He's got Smith. Smith off the boards, blocked by the defender. Jeremovich tries to hit it off the volley, doesn't. It's loose, and Jeremovich picks it up. 25 seconds remaining right now in the first quarter. Ball inside, the run goes through. It's tapped back to the tender, Papaleo. Oh, and his pass is intercepted by Smith. Oh, and Tattoo wanted a handball on the defender there, but does not get it, and it looks like the Stars are going to be very happy to just leave this first quarter tied. Long ball, it's in! Oh my! Dallas relaxed, and it cost them a goal. Gary Heel. Defender Joe Waters is not going to get any assist on this goal, but when he took the ball and stood by the boards for about 3 or 4 seconds as time ticked away, it caused Dallas to react. Then Waters rifled the ball up the floor to Megson, who fired it cross court to Heel, and he goes far corner, and with 1 second remaining, Gary Heel's goal has given Tacoma the lead.
That's the end of the first period. Sidekicks would have been very happy to get out of it at 0-0. They've trailed every game at the end of the first period in this arena in this series. They trail again tonight.
Gary Heel's goal with a second to go gives Tacoma the lead in this championship game. Coach Alan Hinton has spent some highly animated moments between quarters here as his Stars have jumped to a 1-0 lead over the Dallas Sidekicks. Once again, a look at the goal that crossed the goal line with 1 second remaining. What a pass by Megson, Mike.
Good pass by Megson, and a great first-time shot by Heel. Caught Sobieski moving towards the near post, Got him on the wrong foot, put it in at the far post. Super goal by Heel.
You know, it's hard to tell from just watching the tape, but somebody really fouled up for Dallas by not getting back down the floor. The Sidekicks were scattered all over the floor as time was running out. Everybody relaxed, and that was a killer. Give Tacoma high credit for not giving up on the last 10 seconds of the period, which is when they took possession of the ball.
Well, they probably remember the lesson they learned in Dallas when in the third quarter of Game 3 in this series, the score tied with 1 second left in the third period. Tattoo scored to give Dallas a lead. They went on to win the game.
Again, let us tell you that the home team has won every game in this series, and the team that scored first has won every game in this series. For Gary Heel in the playoffs, this is game 19 for Tacoma in the playoffs. He scored now 16 goals, 7 assists, 23 points in all. It is his 6th goal of this particular series. He's second only to Preki in goals scored for Tacoma against Dallas. The teams now will switch ends. Let's give you one more home floor advantage note. In all the previous games played in the finals, the final series as this one, there have been 37 games played in the 8-year history of the MISL in final series. The home team has won 27 of the 37.
Certainly doesn't augur well for the Sidekicks.
Yeah, but all the stats in the world don't mean anything. What hurts the Sidekicks now as Ingram's drive goes wide is that goal he gave up at the end of the first quarter.
Zungul again, backing in great.
Back heel, oh, intercepted in the defense. Nicely done.
by Powers.
Yes, Powers has the wing, but Tattoo can't get it off. Yes, he can. Now to Milano. Milano turns to his left foot, slows down the attack, and they will wait for Tattoo to come forward. And that's Tattoo playing in an odd position for him, out in the middle. Hits the target man, Milano.
Well, Tattoo's as battered and bruised as anybody out here, that's for sure.
Knocked high in the air by the defense of the Stars. Headed toward the boards, and Dallas will pick it up. Tattoo runs it, makes it. The shot skips through to the feet of Papaleo.
Boy, he gets that shot off quickly.
He does, and he gets it off with some mustard on it, too. Now you know why Tattoo was the leading scorer and MVP of this league. By the way, the numbers 3, 4, 7, and 9 scorers in this league play for Tacoma. The run in, oh my, Preki is hit and goes into the boards, and we're going to have 2 minutes against Dallas. It's Jeremovich who's going to draw a 2-minute penalty for smacking Preki. I'm not sure he deserved it.
No, he seemed to get the ball first, and then Preki fell over the ball into the boards. He got the ball.
Well, see, the problem here is if that had occurred at midfield, I think it would have been a common foul. But it occurred so near the boards that the trip put Preki in high danger of injury. And for that, Jeremovich draws the 2-minute penalty. And my, are we not entering a key 2-minute stretch of this game? If Tacoma were to go up 2 goals in this situation, Gordon Jago's club would be in some trouble. Plus, realize the penalty is against one of their better defenders. McLeod, Powers, Redwanski, and Smith, the penalty-killing 4 for Dallas. The usual 5-man attack team for Tacoma. Zungul will kick in across in front, knocked back into the corner by Smith, who challenges Zungul for the ball. Now Radwanski challenges, and they call Zungul. And here comes Dallas on the counter. Remember now, Dallas scored a shorthand goal. Here's Radwanski to the middle, runs on, can't run over and keep control, however. He's doing a good job of killing some time along the boards, though. Flicks it up, flicks it around. Smith works on Ingram, and the ball gets to Papaleo. Some pressure out of what for them amounts to the second line. Here's Powers. Through, back to Lawson. He's going to turn, oh, nice defensive play. Down go the 2 players, and we're going to have a foul.
2-minute foul against Preki for boarding.
Preki boards Lawson, who's holding his ribs. Preki just leans in, and then continues it. See, if he'd only had the one bump, that would have been one thing. But when he continued to pursue the tackle through the player right here.
Well, I think from the angle that Gino DiPolito, the head referee, had on that, he caught Brecky for the left foot that came late and seemed to hook Lawson or kick Lawson. So that's a similar foul, really, to the one that went against Juremovic for knocking Brecky into the boards at the other end of the field.
Again, I think the boards came into play here. Had that occurred out in the floor somewhere, that would have been a common foul. But now Dallas's power play comes on.
Well, it's been very ineffectual lately, Norm. What is it, 0 of 10, the
last 10 times. If they fail to score on this power play, Dallas will set an all-time MISL record for consecutive futility of a power play. Milano with the ball. Lawson passed it to him. This is McLeod. Tattoo and Carpenter, the other two members of this unit. The problem for Dallas is not that they're... It's a goal! Right there! Bingo! It took Doc Lawson only 13 seconds and a winger from the wing to tie it. Just as I was about to say, the problem is Tacoma has such quickness, Mike. Quick is the word for that shot.
Well, they haven't got anybody as quick as he hit that. He can hit a rocket, as we've seen all series, and he certainly did then. Beat Papaleo to the far post. Mason couldn't get over there quick enough.
Tell you what, you see some of the shots hit by Tattoo, Lawson, Brecky, and Zungul. Amtrak doesn't have anything as quick as this.
Well, the first touch by Lawson set it up great for the second touch.
He almost lulled the Tacoma players to sleep. See, he touched it, and then just gets a great run on. It goes through the legs of Megson, past Waters, and oh, here's an opportunity at the other end. We are tied 1-1. We have a little under 8.5 minutes remaining in the second period at Tacoma. And the ball is taken from Tattoo. We have got a humdinger underway in the Tacoma. Boy, you have never seen a wave until you see 22,000 do a speed wave in the Tacoma Dome. Look at this thing. There's only one way to experience the wild side of soccer all season long. That's with a season ticket. Now's the time to reserve a season ticket, and all it takes is a $50 deposit per seat. For more information on next year's season tickets, call 361-KICK.
Sidekicks must be very aware of this. Tacoma scored 2 goals in this series from exactly this position with Zungul on the ball. One to Megson and one to Brecky. Both ended up in the back of the Dallas net.
Zungul, shot blocked in front. It stays out. It stays out. There's a handball call. We're going to have a penalty kick for the Stars. They're going to call handball Dallas.
It's a terrible call. Terrible call. McLeod didn't handle it. Sobieski did.
Well, let's see. Let's see. Blocked. It goes up in the air. Sobieski gets it. Pushes it. Oh, there it is on the hand. Mike, I know it's inadvertent, but it was on the hand.
Right, but I mean, the ball wasn't going in the net or anything.
Well, tough goal, but it is a handball in the penalty area, and that's the book. Now, of a penalty kick. It is one-on-one, player and goalie. Sobieski must stay on his goal line. He cannot come out and cut down the angle. It's going to be Zungul. You don't see many of these called.
Yeah, you don't see Zungul miss many either. He's 3 out of 3 so far in the playoffs.
Now, if there's a save, the ball's in play. If there's a save, Juremovic is coming back to stand in the net. Now, he can't stand in there.
He's just told Sobieski.
Now, he's going to come out of there. Everybody has to stay out of the box. If there's a save, there's a wild scramble for the ball. You're going to get the perfect view of it right here. Wait a minute. They're going to keep the Dallas player out of there.
Now, remember, if by chance he does miss this, the Stars will be in the power play. McLeod got 2 minutes for the handball. Such a factor in the outcome of this game. So far, they've been quite a factor. The players would rather determine the result themselves on the field.
But Mike, that was a handball in the penalty area. Zungul, Sobieski just went down on the spot, and Zungul picked the upper right. And the man who holds virtually every offensive record in this league has done it again. McLeod is out of the box now. That qualifies as a penalty, as a power play goal. With the
well held in check again by Megson, but he's the sort of player that can hurt you at any second in no time flat.
Well, he was silent till the fourth quarter in Dallas in Game 6, and then got 2 goals in less than 2 minutes. Here's the speedy Ingram. Boy, it's a chore keeping up with him. Ingram in front. Oh, and Jeff not getting a heel on it. His heel knocked out of there. Down goes Moreland.
2 minutes against Tacoma, and it's a correct call. And Moreland's hurt.
Moreland's knee slammed into the artificial surface. Now, let us tell you what's under this concrete. Tuchsa did not get the ball and got both legs.
I think Moreland there's got some sort of thigh bruise, it looks like. Looked like he took the knee right above his own left knee in the lower part of his thigh. That'll certainly limit his action, I would think.
Well, Tuchsa is going to be limited for at least the next 2 minutes. Played for the Pittsburgh Spirit last year, Las Vegas before that, and 5 years before that with the New York Arrows. Was a first division Yugoslavian player for 6 years with the Dynamo Zagreb. Gordon Jago's team now has the penalty play, but they haven't gotten team captain Victor Moreland to his feet yet. His left leg is really bothering him. Howard Moore in the white shirt and Steve Smith, the trainer, in the green shirt, tending to him.
Well, you hope for Moreland's sake that it is just a thigh bruise and not a knee injury. This game is tremendously tough on players' joints, ankles and knees. Very physical game, this, Norm.
One advantage for the Tacoma Stars: halftime will break up this penalty if Dallas doesn't score before the end of the half. There's 1:12 left in the half and a 2-minute penalty. So the Stars would have the advantage of the halftime splitting up the penalty and taking some of the time away. Boy, Moreland looks hurt. Mike, unfortunately, he looks hurt. And you know, with a veteran like this, Michael, I hate to bring up career, but he's at the same stage you were at when the knees started to go. Now, this is a good sign. This is a good sign. To his feet.
The Sidekicks can ill afford to lose Victor Moreland. Already have David Stride sitting back in Dallas with a dislocated shoulder. He's the other enforcer in that defensive unit. With Moreland gone, there's really nobody who's really what you would call an enforcer back there.
Well, with Moreland gone, Mike, they really don't have 2 full sets of defenders with Stride and Moreland out. They'd be forced with playing a midfielder back in defense and against a team with the likes of Zungul, Preki, Heel, and Ingram. Moreland hands out a little punishment of his own for the water cooler.
Well, the way he's limping there, and as tough as I know he is, I can't imagine him coming back. It looks to be quite severe. The Sidekicks could hardly afford to lose a more important player this side of Tattoo than Victor Moreland.
This is Milano, who will run the power play. That's Lawson, who got a power play goal earlier in this game. Milano through. Karpin's shot blocked to the boards. And nicely done. Knocked up the floor by Megson. Sobieski to his red line. 1:35 in the penalty, but the key time, 45 and a half. Cloud, Milano runs on it right-footed, blocked in the defense. Again, it's Megson. Oh, a steal up the wing, in on goal, around Sobieski, run off by the defense. Oh my goodness, Neil Megson with an outstanding cut off right at the end of it. But as you can see, that's the time to the half. Dallas Almost out of time.
Yep. Last chance right here for the Sidekicks to tie this game up before the half.
Cloud gets in, left foot, cross in front. It rolls to the feet of the defender, and that's going to be it. Not to midfield, no, 4 seconds to go, but Dallas will have the ball in midfield. I better not say that settles it, because I thought that settled it at the end of the first quarter. And Tacoma scored with a second to go.
That's right, the Sidekicks, you know, to go against what we said at the top of the show, look a little fatigued.
Yes, they do. They've had 2 such tough goals against them, though. 1 second to go and a penalty kick. Tattoo will simply run on, blocked by Rob. And that's it. We're through half of it here in Tacoma. Mike, let's put you in the coach's shoes. First, Alan Hinton, what do you tell your team at halftime?
Well, I think he's got to be pleased with the way they've played defensively. They've broken out well. They've taken their chances when they've been there. I think he's got to tell them to keep doing the same thing. Don't be going crazy. Don't be flying down the floor with everybody. Let's wait for our opportunities. Let's deny the Sidekicks.
How about Gordon Jago in the locker room of the Dallas Sidekicks?
Well, for the first time in this series, in games in Tacoma, the Sidekicks go in and they're not trailing 3-2. They're only trailing 2-1, but still a 1-goal deficit. But they're still in the game. What he's got to do is tell them not to give away silly fouls, to keep their game plan in order, to keep getting the ball into Tattoo, to try and get forward and support him, and to hit those shots when those chances are there.
He might also remind them that Tacoma has not been a terribly good second-half team in this series, or for that matter, anywhere in this year's playoffs. In second-half and overtime action, Tacoma's just scored 48 and allowed 48. They have not been a terribly good team in the second half.
That's right, this game is far from over.
We're through 30 minutes here in Tacoma. We're back with the commissioner of the MISL, Bill Kentling, and Mike with Steve Zungul.
Steve Zungul. Steve, this has been such a fantastic series. Tell me what you think about this series overall.
I think, you know, the most of it was been lots of pressure on us, but most of the enjoyment fans had in Dallas and Tacoma. We split the series. Each team won home, and now final game is coming to our home advantage, and been tremendous series for us players too, but very tough, mentally tough.
I think also a great series for the league overall. You're quoted in the paper as saying this was your most enjoyable series in terms of the other championships that you have won.
Was my championship was that I won. I had really lots of skillful players, talented players, and it was much easier to win those championships than with this team. We coming into this to finish this. It's tough because team was on the bottom of the league, never made any playoff, and really wasn't that excitement. They didn't have excitement, and really they've been down, and to bring them up and to make exciting team and to bring some players in, to put that all together, to fit together, took lots of hard work, and it was my biggest challenge in my life to come here and to do it.
You know, now so many great young players in this league. Tattoo, Brecky, Branko Segoda. Are you ready to abdicate that crown that's been yours for all these years?
I think those guys really deserve, especially Branko Segoda, they really deserve to take it over, and I'm willing to give them. Just I need this one championship for myself.
So you feel like you've been the star in this league for long enough? You're not ready to retire, surely?
I would like to be around them and to have fun, not to have really that pressure on myself, and I must do it every time. I'm willing to share my knowledge and to be with them and just really enjoy the game as a game.
Great players play great in great series, and you've certainly done that again. Tattoo led the league in the regular season in goal scoring, but you are so far through this series leading total points.
It's just, you know, that everybody look up to me, and they expect me to do the miracles and the things, and to win the championship. I think, you know, besides that I'm hurt, you know, my hip, I've been, you know, giving everything what I have, and hopefully this game, last game, it's gonna show that I still deserve to be on the top and be with those young players, talented players like Branko Segoda, Tattoo, and Brecky.
Well, there's no doubt that Steve Zungul certainly deserves to be in that company. He's led that company for so long in this league. Thank you so much, Steve, for all the pleasurable moments you've given myself and every other fan of this great game.
Thank you very much.
Commissioner of the Major Indoor Soccer League, Bill Kentling, who's in month 13 on the job. I can't think of anything that does a commissioner's heart more good than the word that a team had to put temporary seats into its arena to hold the ticket buyers.
We have had a wonderful championship series, and what has happened in Dallas that you're very aware of, and Mike is, what's happened up here is the best selling tool we have for this sport.
You know, great players have sold soccer for a long time. Great teams, it's been proven, can or cannot sell soccer at times in this country. But this series has to do this league more good than any single thing that's happened this year.
Well, beyond that, and obviously you're correct, but if you look back at the opening round, San Diego, Kansas City, Tacoma, Wichita, Cleveland, Minnesota, Baltimore, Dallas, we've had this kind of success since the opening round of this thing, and to have accomplished what was done by these two teams, we couldn't have scripted it any better.
You know, Bill, some of the coaches in this league, coaches Hinton and Jago, too concerned about it. I know you're concerned about it. Some of the teams in the league played a kind of a low-pressure soccer this year that can get a little slow. These two teams attack and attack and attack. There's been a lot of talk about possible rule changes to try to force teams to do more attacking. What can you tell us about that?
The teams that talk the most about it aren't in the playoffs. I think, as you have indicated, the barometer of success has been established by Tacoma and Dallas. Two teams that do go on the attack, that are relentless with their attack. I think there are some things that we can do, but I don't think the answer is wider goals or shorter goalkeepers or fewer players. I think the answer is that people understand, that our coaches, that our ownership understand that crowds of 16,000 in Dallas, 20 and 21,000 in Tacoma are attracted when the light goes on. Although I must say, Norm, that in the double overtime game in Dallas on Thursday night, for 6 periods, it's really a 5-4 game. That's relatively low scoring. But the intensity was such that you really didn't pay any attention. The other thing I would say is that 5-4 in the National Football League is 35-28, and nobody says there's not enough scoring.
Maybe you ought to give 3 points for a goal, Bill. Maybe that would settle it. One final thing. When people around the country, people with money, hear the phrase 21,728 paid, cash registers start ringing. Do you think this will encourage people to become expansion owners in this league?
I don't think there's any question that cash registers light up in people's head and that they try to find my number in New York. Yes, I think for a couple of reasons, and I'll be quick about this. The attendance is important, but I am the only commissioner, fortunately, that can say if you do things correctly in your 3rd or 4th year, you can legitimately play for a title of a major league.
Any plans to expand this coming year?
I think that in Cleveland next week, we're going to make a blockbuster announcement, or 2 perhaps, about expansion, and you're going to like both of them.
You're not going to tell us, are you?
No, I'm not.
Didn't think so. That's why he keeps the job of commissioner. Thanks for being with us, Bill.
It's my pleasure.
That's Bill Kentling. We're back with the halftime highlights and stats after these messages.